What is going on with Camouflaj Studios, the Layoffs, and the entire Arkham franchise? Let's discuss this coming up right now.
We have a signal now for when I'm needed. But when that light hits the sky, it's not just a call. It's a warning. To them.
Yes, sir. Welcome to Beyond the Bat Signal. I'm your host, Dominic Unica. Join me as we dive into the depths of Batman's lore, dissecting the Rogues Gallery, and uncovering the stories of our iconic vigilante known as the Dark Knight. Welcome to Beyond the Bat Signal. I'm your host, Dominic Unica, where we are going to discuss Camouflaj Studios. As you guys know, I've reviewed the game twice. One through watching it, one through playing it. And I wanted to discuss it. But before we begin, if you follow along on this show, that's fantastic. Now, if you don't, where can you find me? X/Twitter at Beyond Bat Signal. And we have an Instagram account. Finally, we have an Instagram account at Beyond the Bat Signal. It is in the show notes. Follow along. And if you guys do, and you're subscribed to whether it's Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, you name it, please rate and review the show, as it really helps spread the word. Now, let's talk about Camouflaj Studios. The big rumor, and the rumor I found was through Arkham Videos. So if you guys are an Arkham fan, you probably know who Arkham Videos is. Pretty well known. If not, highly suggest you YouTube him. He's got excellent content. So we're going to talk about the recent layoffs at Camouflaj Studios. Now, Camouflaj isn't some random indie studio. They are the ones that brought us Batman Arkham Shadow. And before that, they also brought us Iron Man VR. Now, Arkham Shadow, yes, it's a VR exclusive. It's a continuation of the Arkham series. More specifically, a continuation of Arkham Origins, which took place 6 months after Arkham Origins. Or was it 7? It was July the 4th. That's where Arkham Shadow takes place. Anyway, so the game, as you know, I absolutely loved it. And really want every person that's in love with the Arkham series, or just regular users, to kind of play this game. I'll be honest, it was immersive. It was a virtual reality experience. Nothing that I've ever experienced before, but something that I didn't know I needed, but absolutely loved, enjoyed, and encourage everyone to at least give it a chance. I'm going to go through how critically acclaimed this game was, because it was very well received, and it also helped sell hardware for Meta. Wow. And I'm acting surprised. Tongue is firmly planted against my cheek. We all know that they are Meta is, well, they're huge. And, they thought that, we have to save some money. And it clearly, they hit the game division, and it seems like that they are taking a different direction. But the layoffs at Meta hit Camouflaj really hard. They are the studio connected to VR development, and they were downsized. So who was affected? For those of you that don't know, Ryan Payton was the director, and big name was Matt Walker. They had a huge role in Batman Arkham Shadow. Okay. I want to give you some background. And this is why I feel so strongly, and I feel like I have to dedicate an episode to Camouflaj and specifically Ryan Payton, Matt Walker, and the team. Okay? And, when I started my podcast, was still within the first year, and Ryan Payton listened to my review that I watched this. I watched, the entire video game. And he says, I want you to just at least try it and then do a review. So he sent me a copy. And my exchanges with him were absolutely pleasant. Keep in mind that if you go back on my episode, or even like the trailer when it dropped and there was like, I did like a little reaction. I was like, well, why is it on VR? Why isn't it out to more users? And being on a VR headset, like I was a doubter. I had no business playing this game. And I did. And this game made a doubter into a huge, huge advocate for people that, one, love the VR space, and two, for this game. Okay? Ryan Payton and Matt Walker, those guys are class acts, and it's not because they said, oh, here's a free system to try out. No, it was the exchanges. And then you watch, I encourage you to just watch a couple of interviews. You only need one to know how classy these individuals are. And if you are a Batman fan, they did the work, okay? They did their research on the entire Arkham lore, and it is deep, okay? If you're an Arkham fan, we know that the lore there is deep. It is very intricate, and there is 1,000 YouTube videos breaking down every single scene within Arkham Asylum, Arkham Origins, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, you name it. People have broken it down bit by bit. And Ryan Payton wanted to make sure that they did justice to this game and did things right. They know what the lore was. They know the entire background and the end result. And they wanted to make sure that any loose ends were tied. Anything that was kind of left up for question, they kind of presented, addressed. It was so well done. Even things that they picked up like Harvey Dent and his upbringing, how it was left up for question whether he knew Bruce or not. They addressed all of that. So, let's talk numbers, right? What can we quantify about Arkham Shadow's numbers, okay? Albeit these are imperfect ones. Unlike traditional console games, listen, the exact sales and figures for the VR titles often aren't publicly disclosed. You can search it. I have. However, one thing I did come across was a few measurable metrics that we do have is player count, which is good. Okay, so according to tracking of in-game achievements, one that nearly every player earns within the first 5 minutes. Okay, I'm reading from this article. Batman Arkham Shadow has been played by over 1 million people across MetaQuest 3/3S headsets. That is pretty damn good. Okay, so it encouraged, there's no doubt that the meta sold, right? Like, it was a package for at least the first, since October all the way to April, I think it was offered. October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Oh my God. 9 months that people were able to get that bundle and play Arkham Shadow. By 1 million people, though. That is incredible. And because the game was bundled free with MetaQuest 3S purchases, that million figure obviously doesn't really equal to pure sales, but it encourages people to purchase the system. That was the whole point. Meta reached out to Camouflaj and asked if they could do a Batman game, right? Like, that was the whole point. And it was to push sales. So it pushes sales. It does well. And then Meta's like, you know what? We're going to shift our focus elsewhere. And multiple reports, the one I'm getting from is from GeekWire, but I've heard it from multiple sources, where they wanted to focus a lot more on wearable technology. Okay, now listen, and it's based on the money that they're saving through these layoffs. And I'm like, okay, these are people's lives here. Like, you really heavily invested in these companies to help you out, make a profit, sell technology, and then all of a sudden you're just going to kind of dump it. It's, I think, a niche market for the VR, but very loyal. And I'm speaking from someone that wasn't part of this, but I'm also speaking up to say VR headsets are legit. Like, the technology is there. It completely immersed myself into the whole Batman Arkham universe. And the team over at Camouflaj did a phenomenal job. So let's talk about the owners and all these guys. Like, the people over at Meta that makes these decisions, right? Like, if you listen to the last episode, Dave talked about that, where, you have these corporations that don't listen to the fans. And then you have, which I agree with, right? I mean, we have been clamoring for an Arkham game. We've been clamoring for a lot of stuff. PlayStation 5 fan over here. And it's like, what games are really coming out, right? So then you have Ryan Payton come along, and here's a guy who, him and his team, you watch any interview. These guys listen to what the fans want. They read. They are so aware. They are completely in touch with what fans want in the Arkham games, what they want to see, what worked in Arkham Shadow as soon as it got released, what bugs were there, but even before, even the story. And it's like, okay, well, what worked, what didn't work? And it's like, okay, now how can we implement what the fans want into this Arkham Shadow story? And I'm not kidding. They've watched videos, they've watched YouTube, they've read, they've done their homework extensively, okay? And they didn't just go up on AI and say, okay, what are the top 10 fans saying about this game? No way. There's no way. Not with that level of detail. And if you just go to Arkham videos and see the interviews of Matt Walker and Ryan Payton, and you be the judge. Okay? And here's these corporations that are just dismissing these guys, saying, thanks, have a good life. And people forget that they have families, food to provide, put on the table. And these guys work hard, and they earned it. Like, you work hard, and it's normally you work hard and you earn a reward. Well, that wasn't the case, because here was the other thing, and I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole. I'm just going to mention it for the sake of mentioning it. There was supposed to be a Arkham Shadow sequel. But it wasn't going to go to Camouflaj. It was going to go to, the project developer was Sanzaru, okay, which they were also completely shut down. So, again, I don't know why all of this is. I just know that Meta had a strategic shift. I'm reporting it to you guys because I feel like it's more of like a therapy session with me to you guys. And normally I like to talk about Batman stories. I like to talk about lore. But this is something where this is the state of Batman Arkham games. So let me talk about the shift, because I kind of mentioned it. They're looking towards investing in wearable tech, and that's fine. And AI. So, like, even successful games are not enough to align with corporate priorities, and it blows me away. And, Ryan Payton's been with that company for a while now. He's very successful. Now, I know VR's niche market. I get it. It's virtual reality. There's been growth. I wouldn't say it's at the level of, mainstream Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. But, man, 1 million players, I think, is really strong for VR. And I get it. It's nowhere near the tens of millions of fans that, played Arkham City. It's not. Okay? And then that's why it was people like me that was doing this review and being like, man, I just entered this new world of VR and people have to try this. It's really cool. And people have to play this game, and I loved how they completely, they bundled it together where they had the game, because it makes sense, right? Bundle the game, get the headset, and immerse yourself into this incredible experience. Okay. The result was that game looked incredible. It was successful. I don't know, maybe it just didn't deliver the kind of exclusive financial performance that Meta wanted, because again, Arkham Shadow was an exclusive for Meta only, and I'm telling you, people are still asking, can we get this on a broader stroke? Can we get this even on PlayStation VR? Where else can they get it? The human element I really want to bring forth is these are animators, programmers, designers who poured their time and talents into Arkham Shadow. And if you even just watch a playthrough of the game, watch it. If you've followed along and watched or played Arkham City, any of these games, and you watch this game, you're gonna love it. I was someone that sat through, I think it was 10 hours of gameplay. I didn't even play it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Okay? When I use this lovely Google machine and I search up their awards, but in the meantime, this was a game that looked incredible, and they got the top dogs to buy in and participate. Roger Craig Smith came back as Batman. Troy Baker was there. All the top dogs that were part of that Arkham universe came back. Unbelievable. Okay, so just to name a few. Best VR, AR Game of the Year. The Game Awards 2024 was awarded to Arkham Shadow. Same thing. Best AR, VR Game of the Year. Coney Island Dreamland Award went to Arkham Shadow. Immersive Reality Game of the Year, 28th Annual DICE Awards, again went to Arkham Shadow. It blows me away as to how well that they did, and it's so well deserved. Make no mistake, it was well deserved. These guys did their work, and I loved it. And these guys they're human beings. They put the work in. I really, as an Arkham fan, they put the work in, and I am so grateful. And, if I really hope that they get hired by someone else that is willing to say, hey, listen, can you help us out with our next project? And I hope to God it's another Arkham game or something of Batman related, because these guys smashed it out of the park. Okay. Now, what does this mean for the Arkham series? Kind of scared. I mean, again, you listen to my previous podcast with Dave. He's someone where he's kind of indifferent. Listen, we have so many Batman games to play. I prefer fresh start is what he said. Me, I say continue with the Arkham series. I love, doing a prequel to all of it. And I'm more of someone that's okay, well, what comes after Arkham Shadow? I really hope that it is a lot more of a broader audience. I don't want anything to be canceled, because we've had a lot of things canceled, and I'm not interested in a Damian Wayne game. I really did not care. I heard him, thank God that didn't happen. But maybe we get returning to a larger console / PC title. I mean, look at what I refer to RRE36 YouTube page. He or she did a phenomenal job, and that's just one person. And you see how much work that they put in and how they can reinvent it and look fantastic. And these companies, PlayStation, Xbox, they're all capable of doing this and releasing it whoever it is that's working on it, Montreal Games, or sorry, WB Montreal and Rocksteady, heck, please do it. Anyway, we're 20 minutes in. This is not the podcast I originally had planned. I do have something else planned that's going to be a lot more fun, but I did want to address this because I do feel passionate about it. It's a Batman-related topic. And heck, I've said it 1,000 times already. Play the game or watch this game. It's worth it. But I want to hear from you guys, the listeners. Should the Arkham series stay tied to like these formats of VR, or should they stick to traditional formats like, on consoles? That's one question. And does Arkham Shadow deserve a sequel? And for those, it's like, me, I'm of the opinion, heck yeah, they've earned it. Camouflaj 100% earned it. I really don't think that it should have gone to a different studio. But hit up the socials. We have Instagram where you can follow along at Beyond the Bat Signal. It's going to be in the show notes, or X/Twitter. And I'll respond. And if you want to send an email, at beyondthebatsignal@gmail.com. But yeah, I'm kind of curious. But that's it for today. That was my deep dive into Camouflaj's Layoffs. But remember, listen, the Bat Signal shines brightest when we talk honestly about the industry and the games we love. And we're not just like a gaming podcast. We're a comic podcast. And I want to have these conversations. I think it's important. But until next time, I'm Dominic. This is Beyond the Bat Signal, and we are signing off.